Yes, friends, welcome to Galaxy Online Learning. I'm Sunil Desai. Okay, and today we are going to study the sixth chapter of 10th State Board Geography subject. Okay, and the name of the chapter is Population. Okay, now population. What do you mean by population? Population is the number of people staying in a particular country. Now this is very important because human population itself is a resource. The human beings staying in a country are an resource for that country. But this population may be either an asset or a liability to that country. Means if that population is qualitatively good, means if the people staying in the country are well educated, skilled, they are helping in the growth of economic development, or they are helping in the GDP, that is the gross domestic produce of that country, then this population becomes an asset. But on the other way, on the other side, if the population of that country is not educated, illiterate, they are unskilled, okay, they depend on the government for a livelihood totally, they don't help in the GDP of that country, the gross domestic produce of that country, then the same population becomes a liability. So population, human resources are very much important, but they have to be an asset for that particular country. So today we are going to study the population of India and the population of Brazil, and like all other chapters we are going to compare both these countries in terms of population. Okay, so now let us have a look at this map. Okay, so if you look at this map, what you find is that, see, you can open your page number 38, page number 38 of your textbook. There is a map, figure 6.1 and figure 6.1a and 6.1b. Okay, now they have asked you a few questions. After looking at the map, you can just say, they have asked you, then we have given a table and they have asked you states with highest population density. Now if you see this place, right from here it starts, okay, this area with the maximum dots, then again you have over here maximum dots. These areas are the places, states where there is highest population density. What do you mean by population density? Population density means that the number of people residing in per square kilometer. Okay, that is the density of the population. Okay, per square kilometer, how many people stay. So here you see the number of dots is more, that shows that the population density is more. Okay, and states with lowest population density, here you don't have any dots. See, if you see over here, then again over here, hardly any dots. Okay, so these are very sparsely populated. Here also you see very less dots. Okay, so these are sparse with lowest population density. The reason I'll tell you about it, but I'll just show you in the map. Then on the basis of the map given above, they have asked you to classify the distribution population in India in the table. Now they have asked you to tell less the population density where there are less than 100 people per square kilometer. The population is less than 100. That means in a square kilometer, in 1 square kilometer, if this is a square, 100 kilometers this way, 100 kilometers this way, 100 kilometers this way, 100 kilometers. In this whole square, the population density is less than 100 people are staying. So you can easily say this area. Okay, Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh, then here Himachal Pradesh, then Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, here the population you can very easily say is less than 100. The second they were asked between 101 to 250. You can say this areas, the northeast states. Okay, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Manipur. Okay, here the population you can say is between 101 to 250. Then they have asked about population between 251 to 500. Means in 1 square kilometer there are somewhere around 250 to 251 to 500 people staying per square kilometer. That is the medium way. Here you can see your Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka. Okay, here you can see this area. This area, the population is between 251 to 500. Then areas where population is more than 500, 501 and above. This is the area with maximum dots. It starts from Punjab you can say, okay, Delhi, then Haryana, UP, Bihar, West Bengal, then again you can see Kerala in the south, Tamil Nadu. These are areas where the population density is very high. Now, what must be the reason for this discrepancy in population? Why in some areas the population is very high and why in some areas the population is very low? We will come to it. Okay, but before that, I would like to bring to your notice that the India's population, the population of India is around 121 crores according to the census which had taken place in 2011. The next census is going to be next year, it's 2021. Every 10 years you have a census. Okay, means every 10 years you will come to know whether the population has increased or decreased. Okay, so the last census which was taken in 2011, according to that census, the population of India was around 121 crores. That makes it the second most populous country in the world. Okay, India has the second largest population in the world next to China. But important thing is that India, the land area which India occupies is just 2.41% of the world. Okay, of the total land area on this earth, only 2.41% is occupied by India, but the population it supports, it's 17.5% of the world's population. Land area is just 2.41% of the world's area, but the population is 17.5% of the total world population. This is an alarming situation right now. That's why we are trying our best to reduce the population. Okay? The average population density of India, average, means somewhere it is high, somewhere it is low, but average if you find, okay, the average population density of India is 382 persons per square kilometer. Means on an average 382 people stay in 1 square kilometer of India on an average. Okay, when you compare with certain countries like Canada has just 4. Yes, my dear students, it's just 4. Only 4 people stay per square kilometer in Canada. So just imagine how difficult it must be to see a person in Canada. Per square kilometer you could see only 4 persons, whereas in India, in a particular family you have more than 4 persons, many times. Right? We have 4 persons in our family. Most of the time it is more than 4. Okay, but in Canada, per square kilometer, you have only 4 persons. The population density of Canada is only 4. So that's the difference between India and many of the other countries. Now, this unevenly distributed population, the population is the reason is the geography and the climate. You see less people in this area. Why? Because here what happens is that this is the hilly area, these are the Himalayas, okay, and very severe winters, so hardly anyone stays over here. Here again the hilly areas. So those areas where it is not desirable to stay or very difficult to stay, population is less. Whereas if you see over here, these are the northern plains, the river Ganga flowing, the Indus Valley from here, the Indus River flowing from here. So this is a very fertile area. Lot of water, fertile sand, fertile soil. Okay, as a result, people go and stay where those places where the soil is fertile. There is easily availability of water. Okay, so the land is again plain. So human settlements are always more over there. That is the reason why you see dense population in that area. See, and as human beings settle in that area, industries, trade, and all other things also grow in that particular area. So that is why you see in the northern plains of the country, the population is very high. See, whereas in mountainous regions, the hilly regions or the dry desert regions, we have sparse population. Okay, because you don't get many facilities over there. They are inaccessible areas, right? So that is the reason. Okay. Now let us come to the population of Brazil. Okay. We'll come to the population of Brazil. Now if you see in Brazil, here, look at this map, figure 6.2, where you see the population is mostly concentrated. This is the area where the population is mostly concentrated, followed by this area. Here it is all very sparse. Okay, right? You see, this is now. What is the reason for that? Now, which is this area? And what is this area? Let's complete. So now again see, they say India is the second largest or the second populous country in the world. Brazil is the most populated country in Southern America. Okay, Brazil, even if you can compare this with India, but still then, even though they have a sparse population in most of the part of Brazil, still then it is one of the populous countries, most populated country in South American continent. So just imagine what will be the population in other South American countries. It will be naturally less than this, right? This will be naturally less than this. The population of Brazil is just 19 crores compared with 121 crores of India. So the population of Brazil, 19 crores according to the census of 2010. Okay, and it ranks 5th in the world. With 19 crores, it is 5th in the world in terms of population. Okay, it is also 5th in the world in terms of area. Okay, area also is 5th in the world, and in population also 5th in the world. The second populous country in the world has 121 crore people. The 5th is having just 19 crores. So just see the difference. Okay. Brazil occupies 5.6% of the world's total population. Okay, Brazil occupies 5.6% of the world's population, whereas India occupies 17.5% of the world's population. Whereas the land, sorry, 5.6% of the total world's total land, and the population is 2.78 of the world's population. Okay, so the slip of my tongue, it was 5.6% of the world's total land is in Brazil. That means the area is more than that of India, but the population wise, the percentage is 2.78% of the world's total percentage. Okay, and therefore the density of population in Brazil naturally going to be less as compared to that of India. In India, there are 382 people staying per square kilometer, whereas in Brazil it is just 23 persons per square kilometer. So that means in 1 square kilometer of Brazil, you have just 23 people staying. Okay. The distribution of population in Brazil also is very uneven. Okay. The majority of the Brazilians, you see, they are staying in the southeastern coastal area. Okay. Here, this is Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. These are the most developed cities. These are the most populated areas of Brazil. Okay, Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. The majority of Brazilians have concentrated within 300 kilometers of the eastern coastal plains. 300 kilometers of the eastern coastal plain. You see maximum population over there. Whereas, therefore, you see industries, agriculture maximum in this area. Whereas, if you see in the Amazon basin, the west side or the northern side, the population is very, very sparse. Okay, because the climate over there is unfavorable. Very dense forest. Okay, this is the equator, raining every day, forest very dense. You just can't penetrate to that forest. So, very sparse population in the Amazon basin. Okay. The central and western part of Brazil is also the central part and western part is also less populated. And the population in the highland, these are the Brazilian highlands. Okay, here it is moderate population. Okay, that is the moderate population. And now let us study one by one. So please, now it's very necessary for you to open your textbook and pay attention. Okay, now let's come on page number 40. On page number 40, they have shown one graph that is about the composition of the population. Population composition. That means this graph, what is it showing? It is showing the sex ratio. And what do you mean by sex ratio? It is how many females per 1000 males are present in that population. Okay, so the first, what you see is that in the figure 6.3 in that graph, you see the upper graph is of Brazil and the lower graph is of India. So what you see is that the sex ratio, that is the number of women per 1000 males in Brazil, has always been more than 1000. Means for 1000 men, there have been more than 1000 women in Brazil. And particularly from 2001, if you see, it's increasing at a very high speed. Means the ratio is changing, means the number of women is increasing. Whereas you come down in the second graph, the lower graph, what you see, there is a sex ratio of India. And what you see is that the sex ratio in India has never been above 1000. That means the number of women per 1000 males in India has never gone above 1000. Okay, it is neither increasing nor decreasing, means it's a wavy picture if you see. Okay, but there is a ray of hope. What ray of hope you see is that from 1991 onwards, slowly the sex ratio is increasing. In 2011, if you see, slowly it is increasing. That's a ray of hope. Okay, so that's a good sign. Whereas in Brazil, it is increasing at a high speed. So, what they have said, always remember, save girl, teach girl. That is the need of the hour. Okay. Then let us come to page number 41. Now you see another graph. Okay. Now in this graph, you see a pyramid. Age and sex pyramid. This is quite unusual type of graph. Okay. You can just say it this way. This way. These are the males. If you want to see the females, you can see it this way. Females. Okay, that's the graph. Number of males and females. So what you see in this graph is that it is what is this? This is used to study the age and sex related aspects. Means how many males and how many females you see. So what you see, the graph, the upper graph of Brazil shows number of females are always more than the number of males. Okay. Second thing what you see is that the number of people of the age group of 30 to 34 is maximum in Brazil. Okay. The maximum age group is 30 to 34. Males as well as females used to be maximum of the age group of 30 to 34. Right? Whereas in India, if you see, the maximum people you see in the age group of 10 to 14. That means what you can say from this. See, again, one more thing you can see is that the blue color, that is the male. Males are more compared to the right hand side pink color in India. Whereas in Brazil, you see the blue color, that ratio is less compared to the pink on the right hand side. Okay. So, from the age, what you can see is that in India, you have more young children compared to Brazil. Brazil has more population of the age group of 30 to 34. So, you can say India is a younger country. A young country compared to Brazil. Brazil is older, means the population, the average population is older in Brazil as compared to India. Okay. Now, come to page number 42. Now, let's see this graph. This is the population growth rate. This graph shows you the population growth rate. Means how the population is increasing in both the countries. So, the upper graph, which shows the growth rate of population of Brazil. Is it showing any growth? No. Sorry. It's not. There is no growth rate. There is no growth in the population of Brazil. In fact, it is going down and down. So, in Brazil, the population is coming down. Right from 1960, it has gone down. See, it is coming down. It has never increased. It is always coming down. Now it is after 1995, or you can say 1992, 93. It is decreasing at a very high rate. Okay. Now, so slowly the population is decreasing. Whereas if you consider of India, what do you see? The population first was less. By 1971 it started, till 1971 it was increasing. After 1971 it stagnated, it was nearly the same. And now after 2001 you see the population ray of hope that the population is slowly decreasing. Okay, growth rate is decreasing. But though the growth rate of population of India is decreasing, the number of the population of India is not decreasing. Why? What may be the reason? See, understand what I am saying. The growth rate of India is coming down, but the population of India is not going down. Whereas here, In Brazil, the growth rate is also going down, population is going down. What is the reason? The reason is that though our growth rate is going down, the number of people staying in India, the population of India is much more. So a 1%, see, when one child is born in a family in a year, see, imagine the number of families in India, so naturally the population is going to increase. Okay, the rate is less, but it's not that the population from 121 crores is going down to come to 100 crores in 10 years. Okay, that won't happen. No doubt it won't increase, but it won't come down immediately to 100 crores. Got it? Because the base of population is much more. Okay. Now let us come to the next graph. The next graph is on page number 43. Now this graph shows the life expectancy. Now what do you mean by life expectancy? Life expectancy means the average life, the average years a person in a country live. Means if you find the average of the population is how at what age they are dying, and you find an average, then the average number of years a person born in a country is expected to live, that is called life expectancy. The average years a person born in a country is expected to live. That if you are born in Brazil, see, in 1960 the life expectancy rate was 54 years. Means in 1960 it was expected that a Brazilian is going to live for 54 years. But now with the advent of new developments in healthcare and medicine, people are living for more years. So now the expectancy rate, the life expectancy rate has gone up to 75 years. So on an average, a Brazilian dies at the age of 75. Got it? Now let us compare this with India. In 1960, the life expectancy rate of India was just 41 years. Means in 1960, by 1960, people in India, the Indians used to die at a very early age. The reason was that there were no good medical facilities. Okay, there were no healthcare facilities available in India at that time. In 1960, slowly, the government after independence have put on so many healthcare facilities. Now you have a primary health center in each and every village, which cater to the villagers. So what is happening is that the life expectancy is increasing. So today, an average Indian is expected to live for at least 68 years. So from 41 years, now we have gone to 68 years. So you can safely say that an Indian is expected to live for 68 years. Okay, so that is the life expectancy it means. So it indicates that the society is now getting proper healthcare. Okay, health facilities. We are progressing. We are developing the health facilities in the country. The people are getting nutritious foods. People are not dying at an early age. Okay, so that is the life expectancy. And now, lastly, we'll come to the literacy rate. Okay, literacy rate means how many people are literate. That means they can read and write at least their mother tongue. They can read or write their mother tongue, not English, at least their mother tongue. They should be able to read and write their mother tongue. Okay, so the literacy rate in Brazil, what you see, was in 1981 74.6%, and now in 2016 it has gone up to 92.6%. Means after every 100%, out of the 100%, nearly 92 people are literate people in Brazil. Okay, that is the literacy rate of Brazil. Whereas if we compare to India, the literacy rate in 1981 was just 40.8%. 40 years back, today is 2020, 40 years back, our literacy rate was just 40%. Matlab, in every 100 persons, 60% were illiterate. That was one of the reasons for the poverty in this country. Now today, in 2016, what you see is that the literacy rate has gone up to 72.2%. Okay, so now slowly with the education facilities provided by the government in the rural areas, more and more people are getting educated. Laws like RT, Right to Education, are helping people to get educated. Night schools, schools for elderly people. Okay, so NGOs working, government working to make people literate is making, it's just a good thing. Okay, that you see now the population of India is getting more and more literate. So today we have around 72.2%. That is the literacy rate of India. See. So now what we see, the population of India is more. The government is playing its part, is playing its role in making the people more, making the people healthy by increasing their life expectancy rate. Means increases, that means the people are becoming healthy. Healthy people means a good human resource, an asset to the country. Then educated people, again the literacy rate is increasing. So slowly what's happening is that India, the population in India is becoming an asset to the country. Once it was a liability to the country, now it is becoming an asset to the country, which is quite a good sign. Okay, so do you know that Census of India conducts enumeration of population every 10 years. So now it will be next year, 2021. Similarly in Brazil, IPG, that is the Brazilian Institute of Geography and Statistics, carries out census every 10 years. The first census survey of both the countries was carried out in 1872. In India, census is conducted at the start of the decade. Means now see, 20 is going to end now. 21, the start of the decade, there will be a census. But in Brazil, the census is conducted at the end of the decade. That means now Brazil, there will be a census. Maybe it may be going on in Brazil today now, because today is 2020. This year is 2020. So the census may be going on in Brazil now, but in India the census will be in the start of the next decade, is in 2021. So that's all in this chapter, population of. So you have to remember the numbers, the population density of India, population density of Brazil, the population of both the countries. This is all the percentage of land area, the percentage of population density, the percentage. That all these things you have to remember. Okay, these are some important questions for your exam. Okay, thank you.